Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be sharing our experience with buying blinds.com wood shutters for our windows. I've got them in 3 different areas of our house, and some of them I bought some of the stock colors they had, as well as bought a custom coloration for the shutters. So stay tuned, I'm going to show you exactly what we bought and then kind of show you the close-ups, the good and the bad, so that you guys can make a decision on whether shutters from blinds.com are right for you. It's about 7 years later since we bought this house and actually installed shutters from blinds.com into our house, and I wanted to show you guys the durability and amazingness of these blinds. We actually have these shutters installed in 3 different areas, including in my office, as well as on the staircase landing, and also in our dining nook. So I'm going to show you exactly which blinds we got, how we chose the colors, and then kind of go through all the good and the bad and the uglies. Our trim is very unique. It's this like quiver tan color by Sherwin-Williams, and over the course of the years it's faded, but overall, I mean, it is a very unique color. It's almost a blend of khaki / brown. Sometimes it even like has this like green tone to it. The reason why I'm telling you this is because shutters generally will match the trim of the house. In this space, we've actually repainted the trim from the khaki color to Benjamin Moore white dove, and so what I wanted to do was actually get shutters in this space that matched that trim, even though the trim in this room is the only one that's different than all the rest of the room. So I figured, you know, I would get some of the paint samples from blinds.com to see if they would match. And what actually happened was that it matched pretty well. So I've got white dove on the trim that's painted, right? And these are the shutters. And this is the bright white color that actually matches pretty well with blinds.com, especially in this window light. So in this space, I actually have 3 windows, 1, 2, and 3. What I wanted to do was actually have some light that's always shining so that I'm not having to reach up and down. So I've got dividers at the very top, and on the front of my house, there's actually a divider at that top rail too. So what I did was I chose to have a dividing point at the top. Alright, so this middle window actually opens just like this. And as you can see, it's like one window out there. And there's also, again, that divider up there so that you can see why I chose to have the divider up there. And obviously, I can't really reach up here to close it, but that's okay. I just wanted to make sure that there was always light in this room. You can actually buy these shutters without this rail on it, but I feel like it gives that classic traditional look that generally plantation shutters actually have. And so what's great about this is I can open and shut it with just like that. You can actually buy shutters where you can just open and close it with the panel. I like the traditional look because I've seen it at one of my old boss's house where she actually had really good solid wood shutters, and they had the rod there, so it might be more of a preference thing, but I just remember clearly seeing that in my mind, and then I wanted to kind of replicate that look with these shutters. So that is the only reason why I chose having this rod. But if you look up close, you can kind of actually see like the wires in here. If you look closely, these actually wobble a little bit. I just remember not seeing that at my old boss's house with the real plantation shutters. So one thing you might want to consider before you get this rod here is that this thing moves back and forth. I had always thought that these didn't move back and forth. So if you don't like the fact that they wobble like this, I would definitely go ahead and choose the other way where it's kind of a cleaner look. Overall, I like the white bright stain, but you can see like there's a little bit of a difference, but I didn't want to pay extra to custom color the panels, and also I was in a hurry, so it would have taken about 2 more weeks for it to get custom color and all that stuff, and bring things back and forth to kind of match the colors. So I chose getting that bright white, and it matches pretty closely to the white dove. You can also choose what hinge color you wanted, and so I chose the gold tone. I think there's like some different other like bronzy color or antique bronze color if you wanted the darker version instead of the gold, but there's a bunch of different hardware that you can choose from. And I chose to have, again, the dividers, as well as have both of these windows open, and then this one just double open. So there are tons of different options on how you can customize your shutters, but that's the way that we did it. And what we did was we actually measured so that it was about a 1/4 inch off of what the actual measurement of the window is, and that has served us well. So if you guys are debating whether or not to give them the exact measurements, I just felt like we just needed some space, and my husband just used some shims to make sure that they shimmed together when he installed it. So my pro tip is, if you always want light in a space but don't necessarily like want people seeing into your house, I would recommend getting like divider rails at the top, and then you can close these at the bottom. And then I'll show you guys in the kitchen too how we set that up so that we could accomplish the same thing. This is our staircase at our house, and we actually have windows that are basically facing our neighbor's area. And the kids will often run up and down the staircase, sometimes butt naked. What we actually want to do was have a window treatment to kind of hide them running back and forth inside the house. Especially when they're kind of running in between shower. And so what we wanted to do was install some shutters here. And these shutters actually don't have a divider at all. And the reason why we didn't have dividers on here is because, I mean, if we're going from the bottom to the top of the staircase, like at any given area, like at any given angle, you could probably see into our house. So I wanted to close it or open it completely instead of having the divider. So that's one of the reasons why we chose not having a divider on these shutters. So what I want to show you guys is basically how it opens and closes, just like this. And I wanted the look to be consistent, so I have rods on all of the different shutters that we have in our house. And also I've got this corner here, right? So when I open this, I wanted it to open just like that, okay? And this is what it looks like, okay? And the kids normally don't mess with the windows. I mean, when we first installed them, like they were messing around with it. But overall, the kids don't really mess with the windows very much. One of the most annoying things about these shutters is that often the tension will loosen for these panels. And so it'll be hard to like open them and then not have them automatically close. So there are screws in here that you can tighten. So maybe like every 4 or 5 months I'd have to tighten the screws. So that's the only annoying thing about it. But overall, these windows serve its purpose, and they do get a little dusty, so we have to dust them off every so often. Now, if you have a space where you're just trying to cover the window completely, this is one way that you can do it. And what is also awesome about it is that you can open and then clean the inside really well. So that's one thing to consider when you're buying shutters as well. Alright, so this is our kitchen nook. It's our dining area. We don't have a formal dining space. We've got a pretty big open space in our house, so the living room's on that side, and then the kitchen literally is right here, and then we've got our little dining nook. We do not have a formal dining room. This is our dining room. And what I wanted to show you guys is the shutters and how we actually designed them. So we've got rails right here all the way around, okay, so they're all evenly spaced. And then what I wanted to do was actually create shutters so that they close on the bottom and on the top. And each of these windows open so that they open this way. So if I open these windows here, this is how they open, okay? And so they all open this way. And it allows me to clean this space by opening them out this way, because this is a corner space. It allows the doors to not have to like hit each other when you're opening them. So when you're figuring out where to put your hinges, just make sure that the door will not hit the wrong way, okay? Similar to the other shutters, we do have a problem with these sometimes like losing the tension, and so you'll see like when you open one of these shutters, it'll start to kind of close just like this throughout the day. So all I do is I have a Phillips screwdriver, and then I just tighten it up every so often just so that the tension is still there. Bad thing about shutters that you actually get custom colored is I see chips of color removed everywhere. So I've got 4 kids, and in our dining space we've got these hard chairs. I actually used to have banquette seating here in this corner so that, you know, they wouldn't be touching the shutters, but I got rid of those as our family grew. But as the kids grew up, they got a little bit older and bigger physically, and so we needed a space that was a little bit bigger for our family, and so that's why we have these chairs. But these kids will hit these chairs on these shutters and then chip off the paint that are on these custom wood shutters. So I finally figured out what the color of this trim is from, again, the paint bucket downstairs that was remaining from the previous owners. And what I found is that this trim color has faded over the years, and this house when we first moved in was about 7 years old, and this kind of faded, and then they tried to get the right tone, and then we tried to do like a custom color match based on, you know, painting, and so we got as close as we could on here, but it's not exactly the right color. I just was number one in a rush, and 2, like I just wanted to get it done, and so the color is close, but it's not like an exact match. So I just want you guys to be aware that if you want an exact match, you're probably gonna have to go back and forth a couple times in order to get the paint color just right. Again, if you want custom color, just know that it will take some time if you truly want an exact, because even with the paint can color downstairs, we weren't able to get the exact match just because, you know, the fading on the trim. At one point, I actually decided that I wanted to potentially like repaint the entire trim inside the house to be more of a modern, clean feel with the white dove color by Benjamin Moore, and it was going to cost about $12,000 to paint all the trim in our two-story house. So I decided against that and just decided to just custom color these shutters to kind of match what we already have. As far as the hinges on here, unlike my office that's gold, I have more of a brass antique color on these. The hinges all come with it. If you guys want to see us unbox it and then install these specific shutters right here, go ahead and check out the video above, click on the eye icon, and then also I'll link it down below in the description. From a design and personal perspective, the only reason why I would choose curtains and drapes over shutters is if I needed to frame my window. So if I wanted my window to look a little bit taller, or if I wanted to like decorate around the window, that's when I would get drapes and curtains. But if I didn't need any of that decoration, kind of like in my kitchen nook, where I do not want drapes, you know, covering the floor where the kids can like make a mess, shutters are a great option and alternative for those spaces, and so I absolutely love them. It also makes it easy for us to clean as well, so if I open it and I see a bunch of dust in there, I can just wipe it up pretty quickly. Not that I do it all the time, but it's just easy to do if I had to do that. But of course, if you had drapes or curtains, it's pretty easy to wipe down. But I just like the look of the shutters. It has that like elegant and formal feel to it without being too ostentatious. The most annoying thing is having to dust them, as well as sometimes my kids will get their oily fingerprints on here, so that's really annoying. A big benefit is that if I step outside, it actually provides a very clean look to the outside of my house. Not just the inside, but the outside of my house. Because, you know, the front of the house is where my office is, and so when I have those windows closed, it looks amazing. And then on the side of the house, like when people are driving by, when my shutters are closed, you can see that they're like closed, and it just has that really clean look to it. If you're concerned about curb appeal from the outside, shutters have an amazing look to them. Otherwise, with like curtains, you normally just see like a white paneling draped down, and overall, I absolutely love them. Again, these are the signature wood blinds from blinds.com. You can order everything online. You can also call them. So I'll link below to the shutters that I actually got, as well as the color and all the different options that I chose, just so that you guys can compare when you're shopping for your own shutter. If you guys want tips and tricks on how to save money on DIY projects for your house, as well as tips and tricks on organization, feel free to leave a comment, click on the like button, subscribe to get notifications the next time I create new videos. Thanks guys, take care!